Tell me, do you notice something in the way Silco is animated in this scene?
I think you had the stomach. But the big display followed by a request for parley. You're tipping your hand.
Discontinue the production of Shimmer.
Half there already.
Return the gemstone. And I need Jinx. She has to pay for what she's done.
They weren't her crimes.
Did you spot the way Silco was presenting himself? How he was almost challenging Jace? With his body language and a direct and calm eye contact? As if he had nothing to fear, as if he was on top, as if he was in control. Until...
And I need Jinx. She has to pay for what she's done.
See how his stare suddenly changes? How his confidence is broken? How his eyes lose the stare down? He doesn't care about what Jace is saying at that point. He's distant. He's scared. He did not want to hand out his daughter. At that moment, Silco broke. And not in a noisy way or in a spectacle of screams and punches. He just reacted. This is what in animation is called character acting. Those subtle movements a character makes when they talk or react to something. Those movements you do but you don't realize. Those are the secret formula to make a movement look realistic and give them emotion. But before continuing with what character acting is, we need to clear some misconceptions. Whenever I try to search something about character acting online, the common results are getting these videos about the animators actually acting in front of a camera, to get some reference for the characters they are animating. These videos of animators recording themselves for reference is what the majority of people understand as character acting, because there is animation and there is acting. But really, this is just a reference, and something that I will call gesture acting, not character acting. Of course, it can be used for character acting too. But what I'm trying to say here is that this is still a reference, and the concept of character acting is another thing completely. References are used to nail the character acting, but they are different things. So, what's a gesture? The gesture is the shape you give to the character so it communicates something. What do I mean by that? If I draw something like this, you understand the gesture. You understand the character is ready to fuck someone up. But what if instead of this I drew something like that? With only the outside shape of the character, without emotions or anything, you understand the character is angry. This gesture drawing is giving the movement and significance of the pose you decide to put the character in. It's like the silhouette. And this is something animators work on their day to day. You need to make the shape of your character clear, and at the same time, the pose you put them in needs to converge the emotion your character is feeling. That's why they do videos like this. They need reference, so they can exaggerate what needs to be exaggerated, so it can be understood. Or you can see how light will affect the character, or how to work around the perspective if you need to animate a complicated motion. So this is not character acting, this is reference for gestures and to help figure out the perspective and what needs to be exaggerated in camera. After all, it's just a reference, not a one-to-one recreation. It also can help the animator put itself on the character's place and understand everything that is contributing for the movement. Weight balance, stance, etc, etc. So now you know this is gesture. So what about the acting? Like we saw at the beginning of the video, the acting are those little movements the character does in between major movements to radiate the emotion of the character and make it feel alive. One of the easiest ways to understand this is to see and compare. Let's compare a Rick and Morty scene, an anime scene, and a Prince of Egypt scene. Yeah, they are worlds apart on budget and artistic nature and that shit. But let's make this point clear so you don't have any questions about what character acting is. I'm just trying to teach all of you a little something about animation that I love and how Arcane knocks it out of the park. No hate to any of these series, regardless of their quality. So let's start with a pretty good Rick and Morty scene.
Let me see your hand. Show me what you got. You're always talking, but you're not playing. It doesn't match your face.
This animation is pretty standard for a Rick animation TV show. The expression is good, the movements can feel a little robotic, with simple animation effects to make things look smoother. Ease in and ease out is good. We understand everything that is going on and it doesn't make any mistakes to take us out of the scene. But along the movement, Rick's expressions stay the same. the movements are too perfect, meaning they don't seem to have any weight around them or show something personal about Rick. Maybe he drops stuff all the time, so when he grabs the red crystal, it slips out of his hand and he has to re-grab it mid-air because he's clumsy like that. That would be a good character acting and character trait. But that's not the point of Rick and Morty. They don't need to do that, so the character acting in this piece is missing. Now, let's see this gorgeous scene from Chainsaw Man. Look at how amazing each movement is. It's so smooth, it's cinema. After all, this series is shot to look like a live action movie because of Fujimoto's inspiration in Western media. And it shows! This could be a scene of any good shot live action movie. But the fact that this is animated and it has the camera lens blur and the light reflecting on the characters and the drawings are so detailed and at the same time the animation is so goddamn smooth, it shows how amazing the animators are. But smooth animation, good reference, and amazing compositing does not mean good character acting. Again, the movements are just marvelous. A masterpiece of an animated scene. Just look at that. But nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing moves specifically like the character would, or there isn't flaws in how he moves. He doesn't commit mistakes like a human being would. You could change him with any other character. It feels like it starts in point A and goes to point B, and that's it. Amazing animation does not mean amazing character acting, even though, sheesh, what a scene, dogs! Now, let's see a scene from The Prince of Egypt, where the character acting is magnificent.
Egypt, and have heard their cry.
Stop it! Leave that man alone!
So I have come down to deliver them out of slavery.
See how the character emotions come through every single frame? How his eyes open wider, how his eyes turn to look other places when the conversation gets heavy, how his body language tells you he's intimidated and then he's really scared. He's in shock. We can see how overwhelming the emotions he's feeling are. How he shivers after what he just experienced. He's in shock, but he's happy that God trusts him with this mission. We understand the fire doesn't burn. We understand everything without any dialogues, having to tell us how he's feeling. The character acting does that work for us. This is such a magnificent character acting example, but we aren't done. Let's see a little bit more. Look at how Andy reacts to Bonnie reaching out for Goody. And look at Bonnie's response after getting shot down. Look at her eyes. When you in real life talk to someone, your eyes barely stay in the same place. You are not that locked in no matter who you are. That's weird. Your eyes move around. They look at the other people's eyes, or to their mouth, or you see the gestures they are doing with their hands. It is impossible to stay in one place forever. And more when you're in moments that trigger anxiety or some other stuff. Look at how nervous Bonnie is. Look how Andy is in shock and then comes to realize he needs to let go of his toys. Look at how Bonnie looks at Andy's reaction, then looks at Woody to then return to Andy's eyes, begging him to give her the cowboy toy. All these subtle moments help to tell the character emotions so well. It looks like they are acting. That's why we call this character acting. Look at this scene, how Joy can perform by her own a whole scene. Look at how she drags with her slowly. We feel the way she feels, and all of this almost entirely with her facial expressions. See how the eyes move, how her mouth clenches. Like we learned in the last clip, her eyes snap from one place to another. The way she blinks is not robotic at all, it's giving away a large variety of emotions. Think of it like the scenes in movies where we are left alone with the actors trying to convey emotion with the camera inches from their face. They have to do all of their work by their own. Think of it like if we were letting the walls down between us and the characters. They have to perform emotion without having the range to exaggerate movement or something like that. This is just an encapsulated emotions. But that doesn't mean character acting needs to be just limited to the face. It can use the body too. You just need to learn how to make it natural and convincing. They need to show emotion. Look at these characters crying. It's good, and I mean, you get what they are going through. But now, how about we incorporate some acting to it? Look how Luffy is in distress. Look how he doesn't know what to do. Look at his legs kicking. Look at how he hurts himself. He doesn't know what to do. He's trapped. In other examples, we can understand they are sad, but here, we get it. He's moving a lot because he feels like if he could have done something more in this time of distress, but he doesn't know what he could have done or what else to do now. He is fucking lost and it's heartbreaking. This is an important difference. Look at how this scene from Dandadan is really well animated. They are screaming and the movements and choices of gesture is really good. Look how beautiful the drawings are, but the emotion comes from the dialogues. There is minimum to no acting at all in this scene. Let's now compare it to the GOAT. Look how Jinx's eyes scan Isha to see if she's okay. Look at how Jinx's whole body moves. Look at how everyone acts and reacts. Look at expressions in Jinx's face. How many emotions are running through her head. How she's so anxious she can barely hold the lighter. How even in a simple dialogue scene, weight shifts on the characters' bodies. The eyes keep scanning their surroundings. Their expression changes and don't stay put the whole scene. No one can stay frowning for 4 fucking minutes. The simple acts of how she's about to take a sip just to stop in response of what's happening, you understand that something really serious must be going on, just like in this magnificent piece of acting. Look at the subtle changes in her eyes, in the veins when she screams. Look at how they are acting with their whole body, but at the same time, their expressions give us so much information. This is real acting, not this, or even this magnificent piece of art. Look at them, they are acting. They are acting for us. That's why the opinion that Warwick's design is trash because he's in a wolf is fucking stupid. I'm sorry, if you want a wolf Warwick, boot up League. Here, we needed a character that can make expressions, that can act for us. Do you get it now? We wouldn't feel so close to these characters that Arcane gave to us if we couldn't put ourselves in their boots, if we couldn't understand so well how they feel. We can feel like it's ourselves in the scene, because the way they move, the way they react, the way they emote, the way they act is so fucking next level. The emotions they convey are so raw that even the fights feel more ruthless, because how realistic they look. Of course they are exaggerated, after all, it's animation, everything should be exaggerated, but they never cross the line. They keep the character acting intact. They still move and react like real living things. So that's why this punch can feel comical at some level, but this one feels like we just got kicked on the fucking face. The characters look like they are breathing human beings. They indeed live to the meaning of the word animation. Animation comes from the Latin anima, that means souls, and shun comes from motion. You get it. It's literally bestowing a soul to something. Animators give life to their creations, and Arcane is just at the moment being the best garden of life we get in animation. Every character lives out of the screen, every moment feels mathematically precise. They understand how to convey emotion, how to make a character be themselves at the fullest without wasting a single fucking second. These mannerisms, these little adjustments and movements are what makes a character feel like itself for every single frame. We can even learn more about them just from these little acts. This is how powerful this part of animation is. Does Powder learn these mannerisms by copying Bai? We know she wasn't in the room in this scene, meaning Bai has done it before and Powder must have learned it from her. See the way Vander walks? Well, Bai walks like that too. And Jinx, after reconnecting with her, starts walking like that too, making Isha copy them too, understanding how Isha really wants to be like Jinx. And at the same time, Jinx still respects and wants to reconnect with her sister, even after everything that has happened in the past. And these little subtle things, yeah, they come from the character writing, even they might come from the production design. But without the animators doing this amazing character acting, we might have lost this amazing facet of Arcane. We now have a new standard for what animated series and movies can be. Character acting is really hard. Probably the hardest aspect of being a character animator, even harder than drawing horses. But it gives so much to the finished product that it fucking matters. Without these little things, Arcane wouldn't be what it is today. It makes an animation stop being robotic ones and zeros, it makes animation stop being just good, and it starts fusing with the writing and creates character emotion. So now I hope you have a clearer view of what character acting is, and the next time you watch Arcane, you will see it for the fucking masterpiece it is.
That's me!